313 men against 1,000, outnumbered, underarmed, no horses, no backup. Every military expert would call it a suicide mission. But on the 17th of Ramadan, 624 CE, something happened at a place called Badr that defied every law of warfare. This is the story of the day faith defeated an army. For 13 years in Mecca, the early Muslims were tortured, starved, and killed for simply believing in one God. In 622 CE, they fled to Medina, leaving behind their homes, their wealth, everything they owned. But the Quraysh, the most powerful tribe in Arabia, weren't satisfied with driving them out. They wanted to finish this permanently. Medina was not a safe haven. It was a ticking clock. By 624 CE, the Muslims had no income and no trade. When news came that a massive Quraysh caravan was returning from Syria, loaded with wealth that once belonged to the Muslim emigrants, the Prophet mobilized 313 men to intercept it. But the Quraysh sent more than guards. They sent their entire army, 1,000 warriors, 100 horses, fully armored, led by Jahl, the man who had personally overseen the torture of Muslim slaves in Mecca. The caravan escaped, but the army kept marching. This was no longer about trade. This was about sending a final message. When the Prophet, peace be upon him, consulted his companions, Sa'd ibn Mu'adh stood up and said, "We will not say what Bani Israel said to Musa, 'Go you and your Lord and fight.' We will fight to your right, your left, in front of you, and behind you." The Prophet, peace be upon him, was moved to tears. That night, Allah sent rain, softening the ground under the Muslims and hardening it under the Quraysh. The Prophet, peace be upon him, spent the night weeping in prayer. At dawn, the entire army woke up, calm, focused, ready. The 17th of Ramadan. Two armies face each other across the valley of Badr. It began with single combat. The Quraysh sent 3 of their greatest warriors. The Prophet sent Hamza, Ali, and Ubaidah. Within minutes, all 3 Quraysh champions were defeated. Then the armies clashed. The Prophet, peace be upon him, threw a handful of dust toward the enemy. The Quran later revealed it was Allah who threw, not him, and the dust blinded and disoriented the entire Quraysh front line. The Muslims fought with a ferocity that stunned everyone watching. Hours later, the Quraysh broke. They ran. Jahl, the pharaoh of his nation, was tracked down on the battlefield by 2 young Ansari boys and killed. When they reported back, the Prophet, peace be upon him, honored them both equally. It was over. The numbers were staggering. 70 Quraysh leaders killed, including every major enemy of Islam, 70 more taken prisoner and treated with remarkable dignity. Those who couldn't pay ransom were asked to teach 10 Muslim children to read. That was their freedom. The Muslims lost 14 men, 14 against an army of 1,000. News spread across Arabia instantly. Tribes that had mocked the Muslims went silent. In Mecca, there was grief in every household. The balance of power in Arabia had shifted in a single morning. The Quran revealed that Allah sent 3,000 angels to fight at Badr. Companions reported seeing unknown riders on horses who vanished after the battle. The Prophet, peace be upon him, later said about the survivors of Badr, "Perhaps Allah has looked at them and said, 'Do what you wish, for I have forgiven you.'" Badr proves one thing that history keeps trying to teach us. Numbers don't decide victory. Conviction does. Preparation does. Trust in something greater than yourself does. The smallest army with the right cause can move mountains. The Battle of Badr wasn't just Islam's first military victory. It was the moment the world realized this message wasn't going away. 1,400 years later, we're still talking about 313 men who refused to back down. If this moved you, share it. Subscribe for more stories from history that still have the power to change how you see the world. Because Badr didn't start with an army. It started with belief